To meet the tough standards, they'll need to stick it out another week. If they make it, they'll earn the right to undergo missions in the selva, the Amazon rainforest.
Today, I'm finally reacting to my first France video. This is the French Foreign Legion Recruitment by the Best Documentary channel. So I have very limited knowledge on these guys. However, I do know that they take recruits from other countries, and they are considered to be a corps within the French army. Let's get to it.
In Aubagne, near Marseille, at the recruitment center of the Foreign Legion.
C'est pas un asile pour les réfugiés politiques ici. C'est quoi ça? Heureusement, légion étrangère, il est ici pour vous apprendre les choses correctement là.
For whoever wants to enter into the Foreign Legion, it is here that it all begins. But before wearing the Legionnaires' famous white képi, there will be many severe hurdles to overcome. 8,000 candidates come from around the world every year, but only 1,000 are selected. The first step, the recruiting office.
Yes.
So, you want to enter the Foreign Legion? What nationality are you? Tell him to empty his pockets and his bag on the table. The Foreign Legion, 130 nationalities, 7,600 soldiers, the majority from Eastern Europe and Asia. For many, they come in the hope of a better life. Me, I'm from the streets, and to be honest, I've been in and out of jail. I'm hoping my luck will change, and maybe that the Legion will help me.
The military is often a second chance for many young people, especially in the United States, and as we can see here as well.
As this candidate, there are many who want to start their lives over again. The Foreign Legion can offer them a second chance. And I live in Nice, but my mother threw me out because I did nothing and she'd had enough of it. I believe in the Legion, that they're going to straighten me out. And afterwards I'll be a man. Every day, the recruiting office receives an average 15 candidates of all social and cultural origins. Why do you want to join the Foreign Legion? To change my life, to get a profession, to have a future. I grew up in France. I know France. I owe nothing to Turkey, so I want to join the French army. One of the particularities of the Foreign Legion is the obligatory change of identity, even for French citizens. As you know, when you enter the Foreign Legion, you're going to be recruited under a stated identity.
So the purpose of everyone having to join under a new identity is just so it's equal and that everyone has a chance to restart their life and to get a fresh start.
Therefore, I'm going to give you a new name. Declared place of birth will be Ankara. Your father's first name is going to change also. Let's call him Abdel. But don't worry, after you'll have the papers so that you can remember all of this. To join up, the French must become foreigners. Besides, here one doesn't say French, one says Gaul.
Gaul.
The Legion gives them a French-speaking nationality, Swiss, Belgian, Canadian, or Monegasque. You're going to join under Canadian nationality. Does that suit you? Well, that's no problem for me. So now I'm a small part of the Legion. On this morning, there are 6 candidates looking to join and face the selection procedure that is going to last 10 days. Nivikov, Ukrainian, age 27. Liedelson, Brazilian, 30. Munteanu, Romanian, 26. Right now, I'm going to establish the basics. This is not a holiday camp. You're here from 2 to 10 days, shut in. No phone calls, no leave. So if there's anyone who thinks he can't cope with that, you can leave right now. It's not even worthwhile continuing.
That's good. Take away all the technology. Technology is a good thing, but it's a complete distraction during any kind of training.
Undress. In the barracks, civilian clothes are forbidden. They may not yet be part of the military, but they receive a uniform of sorts, a simple tracksuit. When you hear your name, reply. Get your bags, everything on the table. To belong to the Foreign Legion, one must make a clean sweep of the past. Go down there. Personal belongings, jewelry, cell phones. The Legion confiscates all for the duration of the training. It's a tough start. And it's only the beginning of the tests that are about to get underway. Now, 3 selective tests and potential eliminations straight away. Let me explain. A psycho-technical test. Those that have the mental aptitude of a mollusk, you will get no further. Therefore, if the result of the test is less than 10, you'll be out.
Mollusk.
Cooper test. One asks you to run a minimum of 2,700 meters in less than 12 minutes. Those of you who are tortoises or have built-in brakes, you'll be packing your bags. For the less fit, the verdict is instantaneous. Go, go, go. Well, one shouts a little to put them in the spirit. They've done all right, and it's good for them.
It's a decent pace. I think it's a 6 or 7 minute mile or something.
Yeah, you had to hang in there.
For these young
That's
guys,
what we've got to do.
that's not
And there's
too
going to be
fast.
more of this. Medical test. If your members are healthy, you continue until you make the grade. Well, given all the tests that await them, they need to be in good shape. There's no lying about their health records. It's a chance to get a European passport. So we look out for anybody that might be lying about their medical records. The group passed the first 3 tests and has won a session at the hairdresser. Their hair is cut the Legion way. It's another step on the path to the coveted white kepi, the regulation 2 millimeters that makes everybody look the same. Do you feel like you're legionnaires? Well, nearly. Nevertheless, there's a feeling of unity since now we're all in the same boat. We're starting to bond as a unit. There are those who cleared the first hurdle and those who didn't, because they failed one of the first 3 tests. The Legion calls them the repressed. For a lot of these men, it's back to square one, a simple train ticket in their pockets, and ahead of them, an uncertain future.
If you get rejected during these first 3 tests, are you allowed to come back and reapply within the next 6 months or a year or something? This is kind of reminding me of how the British Army recruits its Gurkhas in Nepal. They have all these medical and fitness tests and they pick a handful out of thousands.
For the group that stays on, there's no question of claiming victory. More tests await them. Stand to attention in 2 ranks, line up, come on, come on. The holidays are finished. You wanted it, now you're in it. You're right in it. You'll be here to serve in the Foreign Legion for the next 5 years. I want you all to think. You've got 3 minutes. It's your last chance to change your minds. If you don't want to go back to being a civilian, you stay. Now's the chance.
Teraz ostatnie 3 minuty, żeby zastanowić się. Kto chce iść do domu? Teraz. Sierżancie, ja do domu, bo potem jest za późno. 5 lat.
A lot of these guys seem battle scarred already. So, I mean, I think that just kind of gives you an idea the type of people that they're recruiting. I mean, these guys seem like they've seen a couple of fistfights in their day. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a quality that many armies probably need, actually. You don't need all goody two-shoes in your army. On a side note, some of these recruits don't speak any French or speak very little, so I can imagine how intimidating it would be to have to listen to commands and be yelled at in French when you don't understand a word of it.
Anybody want to leave? Raise your hands.
Somebody want to go back home? Nobody? Sure?
Allez, rassemblement dehors.
Form up outside. Being quite aggressive. Are you acting out your instructor's role? Well, it is my role. It's normal. Want them to get a taste of what's lying ahead. I mean, this is the army. And we train them in the old-fashioned way. It's tough.
He's not being that intimidating if you were to compare it to a United States Army drill sergeant or a Marine drill instructor. No, this is pretty tame, actually.
We want them to become real soldiers. Form up, facing me. Come on, in one column. At ease. The psychological pressure never ends. Munteanu, Zuber, Liedelson, Rudin, Nivikov and Bernet all are going to prove they have their place in the Legion. The corporal in charge of recruits makes them wait for half an hour without moving and facing the sun. People, they wait, and one observes if they're motivated. The people who are not motivated, they'll soon ask to leave. But the people who are motivated, well, they understand that this is part of the selection process. Wake yourselves up. Come on, form up, facing me in a column. No, that's crap. Wake yourselves up. At ease. Over here now. Better. At ease. Well, I hope that they're as motivated as I was when I arrived here. I dreamt of wearing the white kepi, and now I do. I think for them it's the same thing. They think of Africa, the desert, and all of that. A legionnaire's life. For me, someone that comes to the Legion is someone that's looking for adventure, to be a man, to spend life with a white kepi, one of just 7,000 in the whole world. Think sacred. You have to earn the right to become one of the few. In addition to the tests, every candidate is subjected to several interviews. Well, in terms of safety, we don't take recruits who have murdered or committed perverted crimes, people with a serious criminal past. Zuba Jeska, Croatian nationality. Do you speak French? Where did you learn your French? Well, I was born in French-speaking Africa, in the Ivory Coast, to be more precise, and that's where I learned French. So how come you're Croatian? Well, my mother, she was Croatian. Have you had any problems with the police or the law? Never. Never? Never. Do you take drugs? Well, some. I did once, but that was a very long time ago. Do you have any debts, or do you owe people money? Nope. So why are you here? You have no problems. Do you still stay in touch with your ex-girlfriend? Yes, we get on fine. Seems to me there could be a little love story that's gone wrong here. Does she miss you since you separated?
No.
Well, I asked him to be very precise because I felt it might have been his incentive, a sentimental disappointment, shall we say. And maybe it was the case. There's always a reason.
So a lot of recruits will join for a second chance at life because they get in trouble with the law or a bad family life, whatever. But for him, it did not seem like that was the case. He didn't have any problems with the law, no debts, so why was he joining? And I guess he was hinting at the fact that maybe he just had a bad breakup and he just wanted to just get over that by joining the French Legion, which I guess does happen occasionally. So they're trying to just weed these people out just to make sure that these people are joining with the right motivation. That way they will succeed.
It doesn't last a very long time usually, and anyway, I'm not really sure if that was his incentive. All candidates undergo several interviews and answer the same questions every time. Their answers will be checked and analyzed. Their pasts will be studied carefully. And to this end, the recruiting officers have access to Interpol police records. Searching for individuals on the police's computer files takes barely a few hours. If the Legion refuses serious crime, it turns a blind eye to lesser misdemeanors. For a few, it's a chance to set the counter to 0. When someone is accepted into the Legion, his secrets, whatever they are nobody else's business.
So I do kind of like the way they're recruiting people because they're not afraid to give people second chances. I mean, do you think the Army in the United States or the military should do the same thing? I mean, right now, the U.S. Army is having a recruiting crisis. Some of the reasons for this is because the United States has become less patriotic and because the United States, especially the United States military, is starting to become woke. So do you think the U.S. Army should adopt a similar policy that, hey, you might have a B&E and a marijuana possession on your record, but we don't care. You're motivated to join, so we will take you. No waiver required. Would that work in the United States military today? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Hurry up. Come on, stand to attention like I've shown you before. Is that how I showed you to stand to attention? What's this? Head up. Be proud of your future as legionnaires. Well, some of you. Alright, tighten up your belts. Come on, I don't want cowboys out here. Now we're seeing the code of honor of the legionnaires. Stand to attention properly. Head up. That's better. Legionnaire, I am a volunteer serving France with honor and loyalty. And every legionnaire is... That's crap. I noticed. Coca-Cola and chocolate makes you soft. I've told you, take coffee, black coffee, that gives you the knack. No chocolate, no milk, and any of the other things. Otherwise, you'll completely lobotomize yourselves. Face right. Break out.
United States military basic training, you will also be put on the spot to recite things such as the general orders, the army song, warrior ethos, etc.
Difficult for the foreigners?
Non, 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 c'est pas difficile. Ça, c'est la
No,
question.
it's not difficult at all. It's just a question of willpower. They have everything they need in various languages, and the Legion's Code of Honor comes from here in the heart. Learning the honor code is obligatory. It's also the means to check the cohesion of the group. Bernet, the French-speaking recruit, knows he has to help Rudin, the Kazakh. After 1 week of tests and observation, what's at stake is getting the work contract. Okay, the committee can begin its work. We've got 30 candidates today, and we can only take 17 of them, in theory. Okay, let's start with the first, Bernet. Well, he's open, he's communicative, educated, honest, works hard, good incentive. Yes, good. He's already passed the military degree course. He's spent 6 years in the regular forces. I have a favorable opinion too. Good candidate. He's hired. Next. The only question mark is a dubious love affair. He thought seriously about it before making his decision to come here. He said it was all over.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. Okay, we'll take him. Volunteer recruit Zuber. Nivikov. Very motivated. He never even got his visa, so he crossed the borders illegally to get here. Well, he got a visa for Poland, but beyond that, he made his own way here, so he's very determined.
Engagé volontaire Nivikov.
Разум, lieutenant.
Engagé volontaire Rudin.
Разум, lieutenant.
I'm not surprised they took that guy. If he was willing to illegally cross borders just so he could join the French Foreign Legion, then they know that he is motivated.
Rudin, the Kazakh, Lidelson, the Brazilian, and Munteanu, the Romanian, also receive their employment contracts. They are no longer candidates. They're now successful recruits. A first step, and one that allows them to start their training in earnest. They have now signed up to serve 5 years with honor and loyalty. But even the slightest wrong move, and they'll be shown the way out. Gore-Tex jacket in the bag. They receive their first pack, the fighting man's kit, and also the famous white kepi of the legionnaires. The kepi is still wrapped in plastic. Don't touch the kepi. They'll get the chance to try their white kepis, but just for a few minutes. It's just to try it on. We haven't the right to wear it yet. It's just to try. We're still not legionnaires yet. No, long way to go. They'll earn the right to wear their white kepi in 1 month, under the condition they pass their first phase of training. In the meanwhile, they have the Legion's green beret, a beret that Zuber has difficulty in putting on his head. It's not a tractor driver's beret, it's the Legion's beret. Put it on properly. The next day, the recruits are leaving for Castelnaudary, near Toulouse, for 4 months training. I hope that in the next 4 months, you are going to work hard, and that I'll see you again in 4 months' time, ready to join your regiments. And of course, coming back wearing your white kepi.
So 4 months, that is pretty long for basic training. Most armies' basic trainings are less than 3 months on average. However, the longest basic training that I know of is in New Zealand. Their basic training is also about 4 months.
I have no sympathy for those that don't make it. You're now at the disposal of the 4th Regiment, and you'll be under their orders for the next 4 months. Close the bags and put the bags on the cabinets. On the eve of departure, there are those that are happy and those, like Zuber, who have their doubts. Well, some apprehension, because it's a new start. It'll be completely different from here at Urbania.
I see my dream today, here. I go to the castle, and after the castle, I will make my dream to be a legionnaire.
Avik, Bir Hakeim, Dien Bien Phu, Kolwezi, the Foreign Legion's battle honors are part of history. It's maybe this prestige that continues to attract the young from all over the world looking for adventure. But for the new generation, the Legion also means a secure employment, at least for 5 years.
I came here for discipline, friendship, and money, of course. But if you don't like the life in the army, you cannot do this. You cannot be in the Legion.
How do you know that you like the army?
I like the army because I like it since I was young. I see movies when I was young, little.
On the approach to Castelnaudary, the train passes the Danjou district, the Foreign Legion's instruction and training center.
No fear. If you have fear, you cannot do nothing. Without PS. Mama, Papa, PlayStation. Here, not PlayStation. Here, FAMAS.
Near the barracks, in a farm cut off from the rest of the world. This is where the recruits spend their first month of training. Well, if you're not tired, you can redo the whole circuit. Look, where are the targets? The strain of military training is the first real test for the platoon. On the program, sport, assault courses, weaponry, night exercises. Recruits learn to go beyond their physical and mental limits. I want to see how far I can go, psychologically. Is that part of the challenge? Oh yeah, definitely. The competition. You've got to fight for your place here, you know. You've got 5 minutes to polish your boots. At any moment, the instructors could send home those that don't make the grade. So the recruits dig in. If one doesn't apply pressure, they're going to let themselves go. I would say that for this profession, that's no good. You can't let them run free. Well, probably free isn't the right word, but they can't take it easy. Showers at 2200 and then sleep.
Wow.
But even after a long, hard
That's
day,
late.
there's no letting up. Everything is done by the clock.
What time do they wake up then?
It's speed, speed, speed the whole time. You have to rush to eat, rush to wash, rush to dress, and especially rush if you want to use the toilets.
Yes.
Did you think it would be like this? Oh, I knew it was going to be relentless, and it's only just the beginning, really. Finally, it's time for bed. But before that, there's yet another room inspection. At ease? Now, listen up. I don't want to see your towels like that ever again. Where's your towel? Just answer my question. Who told you to put the towel down there? No one told me to. See? Under there it's dirty. And this isn't made up well at all. All right, come on, press ups.
Press ups, so push-ups.
Do you understand what I'm saying now? Yes, Corporal. All right, you can all do these beds up again. Come on. That's dirty under there. That's terrible. Okay, sleep now. Don't you ever feel like answering back, complaining? Nah, that will only be worse. You'd be thrown out straight away and back to being a civilian. I've never seen anyone do that.
They know they mouth off, or if they mess up too many times, that they can be out on their ass like that. United States military, it is hard to get kicked out during basic training. You're not going to get kicked out for something such as just mouthing off or not having your bunk squared away one too many times. That's not how that works. It is much more difficult to get discharged from the U.S. Army.
The recruits have earned a good night's sleep. But here again, there are strict rules. Talking's not allowed, sorry. I have to go to sleep now.
There are no sheets.
Finally, lights out is at 22:30 hours.
Oh, that's interesting.
At the start, the hardest part of the training is not the chores or the physical work, but learning French. Most of the recruits are starting from scratch. The aim here is really quite simple. At the end of the course, each soldier should know about 400 words of basic vocabulary, which comes to about 100 words a month. So here we do things by two. Marks for French are from 0 to 5. 5 means fluent and 0 means nothing. So I put a 5 with a 0, 4 with a 1, and so on. It usually works. Okay, enough classwork. Go to the sports ground. And those who speak French, please help out those who don't. Munteanu's French is improving rapidly. So I learned French in school in Romania, and it's been quite easy to pick it up again.
Facile.
Easy.
What does that French flag mean to you? Well, that's why we're here. For the Legion. The Legion is French, fighting for France, and for the flag, defending the French colors.
So I like that the Foreign Legion takes nearly anyone from any country, regardless if they have a criminal past. I think that is a good thing. It gives people a second chance at life, a new beginning. In terms of the U.S. Army, we are definitely more picky when it comes to that stuff. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? What do you guys think? Anyway, the U.S. Army, back in the 1970s and 80s, there was a rumor of this program where if you committed a minor criminal offense, that you would stand before a judge and he would give you the option, you can either go to jail or join the army. Did this program actually exist though, or is it just a rumor perpetuated by Hollywood? And I think I remember watching Stripes or Private Benjamin, where they had a recruit who was given that choice, actually. I'm thinking that it's more likely that certain judges across the United States just gave that option to a few criminals. I don't think it was ever some widespread program.
1 month later on the assault course, and the volunteers are beginning to look like legionnaires.
Voilà, ça va plus vite comme ça là. Attention, baisse la tête, baisse la tête. Allez, en avant. Là, mets-toi en appui.
This is the hostile zone now. Now you need to reach that small bend over there. Here's the drill. Keep an eye out. You go up by twos. If you see the enemy, and then take cover.
Buddy fire seems to be one of the common threads I've seen in every single basic training video I've ever reacted to or watched. It's just a basic military tactic that everyone needs to know. How to advance on an objective with a buddy.
Don't forget you're working in teams of 2. The aim of this timed obstacle course is to check how well the teams work together. What counts is not finishing first, but finishing together. Each man has to watch the other's back.
Oh, he's bleeding. Did you see that?
Baisse la tête! Allez, Bernard! Donne un coup de main pour le camarade!
Considering they're in France, that mud is probably cold, but I do remember doing that at basic training. The only difference is I was on my back on the bayonet assault course, and I was sliding myself underneath this barbed wire. And the mud that was in that trench was probably about that thick. So as soon as you laid down, all the mud just started completely just flooding over your whole body. It was horrible.
Allez, go!
Allez, scanne le secteur, mets-toi en appui ici. Allez, cache-toi là. Voilà, la silhouette, au plus bas possible, d'accord? Allez, famas dans le dos,
With the incessant screaming of orders, the recruits' reflexes are subjected to the kind of situation they might face in battle.
Allez, Bernard, avance, putain, Baudin, plus, allez, mets-toi fesse. Allez, go!
Oh, I love it. Oh, it's physical and it's also technical. Some basic stuff here. Checking our reflexes. It's stuff that we've forgotten, you know, life's been too soft. We've lost the skills to watch, to listen and react to danger, to be warlike. After 20 minutes, Zuber is showing signs of fatigue. Right, where have you put your sights? What level? Where's the ring?
Is that a FAMAS rifle, or what kind of weapon is that?
I put it on 7.
140, 7 ou 8.
Between 7 and 8. Now I'll move it up. Put it up at 140 there. What are you looking for here? Well, there are reactions when they're exhausted. You see, they're out of breath, they're tired. We'll see how coherent they are at the end of the exercise. It's hard. You're punished physically. We don't get much sleep anyway, and now we've got to give maximum effort. You need every last drop of energy. You know, overcome the pain and just do it.
Ça va?
Okay. Allez, rejoignez vos camarades.
They're in good spirits.
Compte rendu au Capon.
That's good, they're motivated. That's important.
So now they're just 2 days away from the White Kepi March. It'll be tough for them, but after that, they'll be feeling proud. After 4 weeks of training, it's time to take stock. By now, the instructors know the recruits and their personalities, and to decide if they have the right stuff to wear the White Kepi. Bernard is special. He's already got military experience. So, on that score, he's doing well. And he's also very good at helping out his comrades, and that's excellent. Really excellent. Zuber, well, he's a little bit more particular. Zuber's what we'd call the intellectual types, a kind of coffee shop philosopher. He likes to think things through, but he's been getting down to it lately.
So it's good for armies to have soldiers like him, the ones that think things through and are intellectual. However, sometimes on the battlefield that can be a weakness because these soldiers do tend to overthink things sometimes.
Rudin's a fighter. I think he's all set. He'll be going to the 2nd Regiment of Legion paratroopers.
So they already picked their occupations?
Monteanu is harder to judge. Now, he works well, he's dynamic, but it's a bit too early for me to pass judgment.
Did the soldiers pick or did the NCOs pick? Interesting.
Today and tomorrow is the White Kepi March. You all know what that means for you. Those that finish will receive their white kepis from General Dari next Monday. It's the most important test in their 4 months of training. The so-called White Kepi March. 50 kilometers in 2 days, and with a 25-kilo pack, it's no picnic. So long as they finish the course, these volunteers will become members of the Legion. The first 25-kilometer stage will be extremely hard on their feet.
Oh, that is long. That
Oh,
sucks.
that hurts. Oh, that really hurts. Yeah, he's got a huge burst blister. It's not easy to walk on. Today I sleep, tomorrow it'll be okay. Rudin, the Kazakh, is not the only one to suffer. Oh, I'm hurting badly. We'll just carry on and take care of it.
Oh, just see that blister on his foot? I feel them. I really do. I've not gone quite that far. 25 kilometers. I want to say that's 15 miles. I'm not sure. But yeah, that can be killer on your feet. It absolutely sucks. And all you can really do is just to clean them, keep them dry, and to change your socks, and then maybe try to use some moleskin. And that's all you can really do.
Tonight, I suppose. I'm not going to give up now. We're halfway there. There's nothing that works as well as some strong hot wine to keep the men going.
Wine?
After a month of hardships, the instructors loosen up a little. Volunteer Farwood is Australian and leads the section in a tribal war dance. That's a great atmosphere. It's wonderful. Everybody's singing in their own songs, in their own language. It's great. Do you miss Romania? Yes, a bit. But I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking of the future. You can't think of the past. That doesn't do anybody any good. We're in the army. I don't want to think of problems. Like what kind of problems? Oh, just life. Monteanu remains tight-lipped about his past. No one here talks of their past. And as far as the Foreign Legion is concerned, these men were born the day they joined up. At nightfall, and everyone is under canvas. Rudin is settling into his tent. Nice small house. A small house he has to share with his oppo, Bernet.
Oppo?
Hey, Rudin.
What is
What are you
Oppo?
going to dream of tonight? Food, and smoking. Bernet is 29. Rudin is just 18. He's almost like a younger brother, but Bernet knows little about him. Language remains a barrier.
So in the U.S. military, our field rations are called MREs, meals ready to eat. What do the French call them?
What do I know about Rudin? Not much. I know how he got here, and that's about it. Sometimes he talks about his mother, his sister, his brothers, and that how he's going to send them money so that they can have a good education and schooling.
That's part of his motivation. Make a better life for him, but also his family. That's a very noble thing.
I always wanted to be a soldier, ever since I was small. Army blood runs in my family. My brother fought in Afghanistan during the time of Gorbachev and the USSR. But the Kazakh army is no good. And now I'm 18, I'm in the Legion. Legion is good. I want career. Everybody up? It's an early start.
Never fun waking up in the early morning in the cold. It sucks.
Well, you know, there's a song in the Legion that it's not enough to have a drink to become a legionnaire. You need to be the first. You were the first to drink, but you're not the first to be getting up this morning. Today it's back to barracks and at the end of the White Kepi March. Same distance as yesterday, but a little harder. So tighten your asses and we'll make it back to base. 25 kilometers to go. The pace is quicker than the previous day. The 25-kilo weight of the backpack seems to be getting heavier as each kilometer drags by.
So the U.S. military calls it a rucksack. Does the French call it a backpack or a field pack?
For a 6-hour march, they reach the base.
Ooh.
Rudin is all smiles. He knows he's won his white kepi. He and his comrades are now legionnaires. Tired, huh? Nah, I'm not tired. No, I haven't finished yet. And indeed, the day is far from over. First, they have to clean their weapons. Then they'll get a chance to rest when everything is spotless. You think you finished, Zubair? Well, you might think so. Look at this. Listen, you've been cleaning this for an hour and a half. You told me you'd finished. Right, we'll keep doing it until it's done properly. Even after a forced march, when everyone's tired, you need to keep going. Dig in. Just because you're tired doesn't mean you can give up now. No way. First, clean your weapons. That's what it says in the manual.
So for those of you who have limited weapons experience or no military experience at all, then you might say to yourself, an hour and a half, that should be plenty of time to clean a weapon. And in all honesty, if you've been using your weapons for blanks, live fire, or just out in the field, it takes a lot to get your weapon clean. We came back from our final 3-day FTX or field exercise at basic training. We literally spent a day and a half cleaning our weapons so they were spotless. Even down to the last hour of us cleaning, the drill sergeants were still finding deficiencies in our weapon. So an hour and a half is not a lot of time to get a weapon clean to standard.
Finally, the reward. All tiredness is forgotten. It's time to wear the dress uniform. Oh, that's the best. What does it mean to you? Well, it's the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Well, that's the best. It's perfect for military ceremonies. Still missing a few decorations, a few medals. But give me 2 years and they'll all be up there.
Fourth. Does that fourth mean 4th Regiment? Or...
Okay, D-Day, guys. Make yourselves presentable. Volunteers, the time has come to renew the vows that you made a few weeks ago. You're about to receive your white kepis. The kepi is the symbol of an elite force with a unique tradition which has covered itself in glory in the name of France. White kepis, on. We swear to serve with honor and loyalty. The Legionnaire's oath, part of the passing out ceremony. Where do you come from, Zubair? Croatia. Well done. Congratulations. Welcome to the Legion.
So if you notice, when he was saluting, his fingers are out like that. Is that a part of the Legionnaire tradition, or is that just how the French military does it? If someone wants to clarify, I would appreciate it.
Zubair and his comrades are now Legionnaires, but there's still 3 months of training to undergo before being posted to their regiments. The Foreign Legion welcomes its new members in time-honored tradition, with pudding and white wine.
Nice.
Now I'm a Legionnaire. Are you proud? I'm very proud, yes. It's all I've been thinking about since I left home. Always thought about it, whether I could make it or not. But I thought I would be able to. And I've done it. It's a wonderful day. It's been my dream. Now it's action. I want to get into action. 9,000 kilometers away in French Guiana, an adventure park for the Foreign Legion. Just a short distance from the border with Brazil, this is the CEFE, the Equatorial Forest Training Center. This is where Legionnaires learn about jungle warfare. These men are part of the 2nd Battalion, 3rd Regiment of Legion Infantry. They've been in Guyana for a few weeks. They'll stay for 2 years.
They said the border of Brazil. Does that mean that the jungle they're training in is the Amazon rainforest? Because that's some real tough jungle.
For the past week, they've been undergoing jungle training. To meet the tough standards, they'll need to stick it out another week. If they make it, they'll earn the right to undergo missions in the selva, the Amazon rainforest. There's nowhere to hide out here. You can either take it or you can't. And if you can't take it, they'll know right away. That's what's good about being here. The ultimate aim is to create a cohesive unit. These conditions will help achieve a well-disciplined, integrated unit. The men are aged between 20 and 37, officers, NCOs and legionnaires. They have all volunteered to serve in Guyana. Men like Corporal Kim, who's from South Korea and a 6-year veteran. What did you think it would be like here? Oh, it's great. Perfect. Excellent. Good training. I love it. If you're not even prepared to suffer for France, how can I think you're prepared to die for her? Come here, you. Warrant Officer Lopez is an instructor, a 47-year-old Spaniard. He's a living legend in the Legion. See, this is how you carry him. Lift him up like this. See, I can even run and hold my rifle. He served in the Legion for 22 years, 8 of which in Guyana, a record. He's out to test the soldiers' physical limits and to spot their psychological weak points. You don't want to get dirty? Yes, I do, sir. Come on, everyone, pile on top of him. We want to develop a sense of injustice here, to make him feel he's been unfairly treated. It'll make him more aggressive. He won't understand that now, just like that, on reflex, but afterwards he'll understand. Have you had enough? Come on, Curva. Be a man, keep going.
Never underestimate rifle PT. That's a good way to smoke your arms.
Most legionnaires are already physically in good shape when they get here, so we focus on their psychological issues. Porter, you're the casualty. Got to think like a casualty, and you'll die like a casualty. Your mission is to survive another day. There are 2 types of animal: the prey, those that are constantly on the run, and the predator, those that constantly hunt. He needs to think and react like the hunter. We'll reassess him since he doesn't have any self-confidence. I won't be able to change what's in his head. But physically, I'm just going to keep on top of him. You know, within limits. Sometimes, we might get carried away. And that's why there's a doctor always around just to make sure all is well.
I wonder if it's just one doctor, or if there's also some medics that are doing med coverage as well. In the U.S. military, we would probably just have some medics doing medical coverage. We would have no doctor unless they had an aid station that was close by.
Your face, come on, look aggressive. Give me the look. Get down.
Okay.
I think here they'll be surprised by this. They have no idea what's coming up. They'll be anxious, scared, and uncertain. Basically, they're clueless. It's a good psychological test. Inside the hood, the prisoner is Corporal Kim, one of the toughest men in the platoon. Without making any noise, the instructor places a dummy detonator between Kim's legs. What are you thinking about? I'm just waiting to see what's happening. Maybe we've been taken prisoner. I don't know yet.
He barely even
flinched when there was that explosion. Weren't you surprised? Oh, it's up to the monitor to tell us to move or not. Oh, you see, good reaction. He's well trained.
Wow.
Well, we might get ordered to go anywhere. So you train for things that might really happen. The NCOs here, they bust our balls. But luckily for us, one day we'll be glad they taught us all this. The blaring music is to destabilize the soldiers. It's a way of making it seem like a guerrilla camp. Everyone gets the treatment, and the interrogation methods are far from gentle. A piece of wood is forced between their fingers and snapped. Where you come from? Which country? It might shock, yeah. It might. And certainly for them, they don't know why this is happening. It's to see how they react. That they have to show control and not to let their aggression towards me at the time get the better of them.
So the Philippine Scout Rangers, I reacted to them a few months ago. They actually also have this prisoner phase. They didn't show a whole lot, though, because it was classified and it was really brutal. The only part they could really show was some of the near drowning interrogation, and that was just a very quick 2-second clip. Anyway, I'm not sure if they're going to go that far with this, but regardless, any kind of prisoner phase in training is like the worst part of training. It's never fun.
Control the situation, control your feelings. You're trained to be aggressive, but paid to keep it in check if necessary. Very well paid. You've got 10 seconds to get into the canoes. The legionnaires will now face the rigors of survival in the jungle. The instructors order them into canoes and to keep their heads down so they can't see where they are.
So I wonder what happened to the guys that we were following. They showed the recruits earning their hat, and then all of a sudden we were in French Guiana with other soldiers actually training. So I'm not sure. Maybe in the next part they'll go back to them. Anyway, he did mention something about being paid well. Does this mean that the French legionnaire soldiers get paid more than if you were in the regular army? If you know, please drop that in the comments.
The legionnaires will now face the rigors of survival in the jungle. The instructors order them into canoes and to keep their heads down so they can't see where they are.
This
The
orientation.
exercise will last 72 hours, without food and with just a minimal amount of equipment. Yeah, look at this. What more could you want? You have the whole jungle to feed from. No hammocks, no mosquito nets, and clothes that are soaking wet. In order to get some sleep and some protection from the rain, insects, and snakes, the men are going to have to build shelters using whatever is to hand.
It's harder than you think to find a meal in the Amazon rainforest. I've seen enough Naked and Afraid episodes where they were in the Amazon, where these people went for days without eating.
And for food, they'll also need to make do with whatever they find, in this case, the edible part of a palm tree.
Those mosquitoes are going to be brutal at night.
It's the second day without proper food.
Not fun.
Corporal Yu has a temperature. Damn, it's bad. I think you might have to go back with the NCO. No, I want to stay. See, he doesn't want to appear weak. Yeah, he wants to see it through to the end. And I'm sure there are other men who are ill but won't say anything. They see the light at the end of the tunnel and they don't want to give up now. Okay, you, so what's up? Headache. Since when? Since the morning. Hey, you're missing your rum, right? You're feeling sad?
Dehydrated.
We have a trainee here with a fever between 38 and 39 degrees. I'm going to bring him in. He'll need to go into hospital. Lopez is concerned that Corporal Yu may have contracted malaria, which can be fatal if not treated quickly.
Do they take anti-malarial medicine before they get to the Amazon? That's what I want to know.
Have you already had malaria? You want to go back to your comrades, huh? Yes, I want to go back. It's not up to him anymore. Sending someone who's got a 39-degree fever out onto a survival course isn't a very good idea. You better stay here. It's what the civilians would do. The army would say differently, but they're the ones who are calling the shots. So stay put. Corporal Yu tested negative for malaria, but the medics think he has dengue fever, an equally dangerous viral infection, also caused by mosquitoes. He's to be transferred to Kuru for treatment and recovery. Nights are very long out here. 12 hours, in fact. It's a chance to assess their mental condition. They think about a lot of things out here, being so far away from their homes. At night, legionnaires usually think of their childhood and growing up, and they dream in their own languages. Do you still dream in your mother tongue, even after 22 years in the Legion? Sometimes, but I've become institutionalized, so not too often.
If you're watching this and you speak more than one language, do you also dream in your mother tongue, or do you dream in the language that you use the most? Please drop that in the comments.
What has the Legion meant to you? So much. It's a way of life. It's 20 years, that's a whole life. And what did the Legion get out of you? Well, it's taken a lot from me, an awful lot. Still, the way I look at it is that when I joined up, the Legion wasn't better off with me, and so that when I leave, the Legion won't be any worse off without me.
In other words, everyone is expendable, and that's the truth for any army, in all honesty.
10 days into their jungle training, and the third day without food. The men are starting to weaken. Warrant Officer Lopez decides that now's the time to move camp. All right, gather up the equipment, we're moving. It was a move that wasn't on the program. Their smiles have vanished now. They don't understand. And this is not good news for Legionnaire Gamba from Senegal. The platoon has to reach the new encampment on a makeshift raft that they themselves built. And Gamba doesn't know how to swim. You're going to go in the water even if you don't know how to swim? Well, if we have to, we have to. Whether you can swim or not. Where are you going? Stay back. Don't get in the way.
Piranhas and caimans and snakes.
A 1.5 hour long journey down the river lies ahead.
Anacondas.
But on empty stomachs, it's a major effort. Struggling in the water, Gamba is doing his best, but is barely keeping afloat. Legionnaires have to know how to swim, especially for duty in rainforests like Guyana. Warrant Officer Lopez decides to test Gamba one last time. What happens if he can't make it? Well, he won't get his grade. He'll be considered unfit for jungle warfare. To get his promotion, Gamba will need to swim at least 50 meters, which is the width of the river. Gamba makes one final effort, but by halfway across, he's in serious trouble. So what happened, Gamba? The current was too strong, sir. I didn't have the strength anymore. You didn't have the strength anymore? That's when your head takes over. It's a matter of willpower. I want it, so I'll get it. Are you going to carry on anyway? I will. I'm going to finish this. Gamba will need to learn to swim and then take the training course a second time. To succeed, he'll need to undergo every step of the training all over again.
He has a good attitude, though. He wants to be there. So.
Fourth day without food, and the last of the 2-week-long course. Lift!
Oh, they made a makeshift litter, I think. Improvised litter, yeah.
Sweat's good for you. It saves your blood and tears. Your mother's tears. To finish, the instructor is organizing the carrying of a makeshift stretcher, a 2-hour march through dense jungle terrain.
So you may think that the guy in the litter might be getting a break, but in all honesty, no, that does not look comfortable at all.
Strength to carry on. I don't know, somewhere inside, I suppose. But they find it. It's the adrenaline. Everyone's stronger than they think they are. It's tough, but it's a reminder that this is what you wanted to do. The Legion didn't call up and say, hey, we need you. Come on over. You're the one that joined up for 5 years, so you just shut your mouth and get on with it. The second platoon has more or less finished its training, but Warrant Officer Lopez still has plans for Legionnaire Porter, the young Frenchman. Did you bring much, Porter? Not much, sir. Not enough? Well, here, go on. My comrades deserve better than this. You don't want my water? Well, your comrades are going to suffer. Come on. Take it. Was that another test? I want to make sure he's suitable. Well, he's better. His willpower is good, even if physically he's still a little weak. But I think he's determined, and he'll force himself to go further than he thought he could. Training has to be tough. Otherwise, how will we know how they react in tough circumstances? I know one or two that might drop out, but this is the only way. The training has to be hard. Very hard. A sheep is never going to eat meat, right? And here we want hunters. We train them to be predators, to eat meat, if you will, but without hate. A predator doesn't hate his prey. Aggressive? Yes. Control and discipline? Yes. But no hate. Okay, men, this is the final physical trial. It's all in your heads now, since you've probably not got much left in your bodies. Don't ask, just do it. For 2 weeks, the Legionnaires of the 2nd Platoon have coped with all the challenges that have been thrown at them during the training course. Lieutenant Agboton, the platoon commander, has come to know the men who'll be under his orders for the next 2 years. Corporal Kim has finished in 2nd place in the overall standings after the course and will undergo further training to become a jungle warfare instructor himself. Legionnaire Porter finally did get his grade. And Corporal Patterson from England, the 6-year Legion veteran, achieved what he had come to Guyana to find: adventure and inner strength.
Afghanistan?
Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan. After more than 2.5 decades of war, an uneasy peace has finally been reached. A multinational force, the ISAF, the International Security Afghanistan Force, helps maintain law and order under NATO command.
So I had no idea the French Foreign Legion was actually in Afghanistan, and just for a reference, this video did come out in 2018. So obviously things have changed since then.
Amongst them, 500 soldiers from the French Foreign Legion. Their mission is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If fighting breaks out, they'll be in the front line. The main threat is terrorism. On this particular day, ISAF troops have come under fire while guarding the airport. The 2nd Legion's infantry regiment deploys for a manhunt. In the hunt, ISAF Apache helicopters who relay instructions and observations to the Legionnaires on the ground. Stay in position, will be guided by the Apaches. Captain Pellebeuf is in command of the 4th Company and orders his troops via radio. Lieutenant Pascal is in charge of the 2nd Platoon. Your mission is to intercept suspect elements. Only fire in legitimate self-defense.
Gotta follow that row, the rules of engagement.
The chase takes the legionnaires to the village of Tarakel, 2 kilometers from the airport and a former Taliban stronghold. It's a maze of small streets and houses protected by high walls. You see that little tower? That's where he is. He was looking out a little while ago, but now we can't quite see him. If he opens fire, fire back immediately. I have to wait for an interpreter so I can liaise with the local police and go inside the compound. Afghan police enter the village, and the legionnaires have to maintain their positions. They are not allowed to use their weapons. The ISAF mission ground rules mean they can only provide backup to local authorities and only fire in self-defense.
Well,
Everyone's now waiting for the chief of police. And finally he shows up at nighttime. The legionnaires can finally enter the house. But cameras are not allowed. Inside, the suspect has inevitably disappeared. But in the courtyard, a well has attracted Captain Pellebeuf's attention. How deep would you say that is? 15 meters? The captain is intrigued by the fact the well is dry, in the middle of the rainy season. Interior search finished, sir. The troops have to withdraw empty-handed. What's happening, Captain? Well, the suspect has vanished, probably escaped down the well, which in turn leads to a series of underground passageways. Well, now we've got to maintain our relationships with the local authorities, but hopefully we'll be able to come back and check out all the underground galleries properly. But for now I have to pull out.
of course they have escape tunnels.
Well, the mission, yes, it is a little ambiguous. Everyone's rushing about in different directions.
Why is he wearing his beret and not a helmet? And someone dropped that in the comments.
The captain ends the conversation there. He is duty-bound to say no more. And he never did get the opportunity to search the well properly. Base camp for the 2nd Regiment is at Kabul Airport, where they serve a 4-month tour of duty. One more exile for these men who have already abandoned their homelands and families. In Captain Pellebeuf's unit, most of the soldiers are from outside France. Corporal Lesko, 29, is from Slovakia.
How much leave do foreign legionnaires actually accrue a year? In the U.S. Army, we get 30 days. So how about these guys?
Well, it's like being back in barracks here. It's what we're used to. We get on each other's nerves sometimes, but we drink together and then we fight together. Everything. It's the same as in any family. There are good moments and bad. And every family has its head, right? A father figure. Yeah, so do we. See? The sergeants order the corporals, like me, and the corporals order the privates. That's the way it is. One big happy family. And in the 4th Company's family, the smallest has only 9 months under his belt. But he's quite a baby, almost 2 meters tall. He's from Argentina, and it was his taste for tattoos that made him want to join the Foreign Legion. In my country, this isn't allowed in the army. That's why I'm here. His whole torso has tattoos. To enroll in the Green Berets, Fernandez has had to make a lot of sacrifices. To join up? Well, I had to sell everything. My car, my computer, just to buy the airplane ticket. It's very expensive for people like me. So you abandoned everything? Well, I have a CD player and a bag with an old uniform in. That's it. On duty in Afghanistan, the legionnaires rarely get the chance to put on their coveted white kepis. But today is payday. On duty anywhere outside of France, the legionnaires receive double pay, the equivalent of about $3,000 a month. This morning, though, they will be entitled to just $350 pocket money, distributed by the captain himself. Permission to enter, sir?
U.S. military also gets extra pay in combat zones as well, but the best part about it is that it's not taxed.
In the Foreign Legion, the rituals are set in stone. The time-honored ritual is that the pay goes into the kepi. It's quite an important ceremony, really. The senior officers deals with issuing the legionnaire with the pay that he's earned. Every move is part of the ceremony. At your convenience, Captain. The legionnaires come from all over the world. They are mixed up with all sorts of other nationalities. So the ritual is a form of common language, something they can all relate to. At your convenience, Captain. Like his fellow officers, Captain Pellebeuf is a stickler for the traditions of the Foreign Legion. Wherever he is posted, he takes with him portraits of his commanding officers and of General Rollet, the founding father of the Legion's spirit. The esprit de corps of the Legion is pride in a job well done, and completing it no matter what. It's about the military virtues, physical as well as moral courage. It's respecting your superior officers and discipline. And I admire the notion of respect of more senior ranks, as it works both ways. It's respect in the martial and virile sense, whereby orders are followed without hesitation and all the way, and where the senior officer, without showing it, respects his subordinates to the point where, if he has to order them in the worst case to certain death, then he too will be right there with his men to the bitter end. Made up from volunteers from the world over, the Legion has, for more than 170 years, been a unique and homogeneous corps whose code of conduct is reflected in their motto, Legio Patria Nostra. The Legion is our country.
Overall, I think the film was really good. I learned a lot. How about you guys? What I would like to have seen is them split this video up into 3 different films. That way you had one on the initial recruitment, the basic training, one on the Amazon jungle training, and then one on Afghanistan. But regardless, this was really good, and I think one of the best parts about the video was the British guy doing the voiceover. I thought he was just brilliant. Please like this video, and more importantly, please go to the original video. I'll link it below and like that video as well. Until next time, why don't you check out this video on the Philippine Scout Rangers. Thanks for watching.